Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of The Reactive Entrepreneur, the show where we combine the business world with the tech world, and we share all of the experiences that we have in the hope of helping you succeed in your journey. Today, I've got an awesome guest. It's actually something that I've been wanting to do for a while. It's a very good friend of mine, Mo, and he's basically revolutionized or changed up the game when it comes to men's grooming standards in Dubai. And he started off in Syria. He's got an incredible journey, and we want to basically break it all down and show you how he was able to succeed and conquer Dubai. So Mo, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sonny. It means a lot to me.
No, honestly, it's absolutely incredible to have you on the show. I've been excited. I wanted to have it for a while. So Mo, just firstly, introduce yourself. So who is Mo and what is Skills by Mo in DXB?
Mo is Mohammed Mir Ibrahim, aka Barber Mo.
Yeah.
I always prefer to be called Barber Mo because of my barber skills.
Yeah.
I managed to reach out the biggest celebrities in the world. I managed to achieve my dream. I managed to lift up the people that I love. I managed as well to make the most person valuable to me, my mom.
Nice.
Very proud of me.
Amazing.
And I get into the industry that I appreciate most. I developed from it a way different level of an experience for people who appreciate arts.
Yes.
And who really value their grooming to a different level.
Yeah.
And they believe that their identity is how sharp and presentable they look like.
Yeah.
And they take it too serious in their lives to help them to be more confident, as well as to introduce themselves to the world in way different shape.
Yeah.
The ready people, the people that they're going to achieve success, the confident people, the qualified people for whatever position they wanted, and the people who's really willing one day to make the whole world know about their name. So basically, it's not just a haircut.
Yeah.
It's 1 hour to 2 hours at my facility that it's going to help any person to back up himself with a massive energy of a confidence that it's going to help him to think better, to feel better, and as well as to enter to whatever he wanted to enter in his life in a much more confident steps.
I love that. Yeah, because honestly, I always try and explain this concept to people around me, everyone like, Sonny, you get a haircut every week? I'm like, it's not just a haircut. I go in there with a fresh mindset of like, oh, I'm actually quite tired when I come in. And I leave feeling like rejuvenated. It's an entire experience of just getting it's kind of, like you said, it's breathing confidence into somebody and getting them back to a shape where they basically want to conquer something bigger. And I think you've absolutely nailed that. You've taken something which is considered just like a normal barbershop in many cases. And I really want to dive into this. How do you go ahead and change like just a haircut to something like a men's grooming experience? Because now, if I come to Skills, it's more than just getting a haircut. And by the way, guys, if you want to know, this is the guy that keeps me fresh for camera. Everyone always comments saying, who gives you a haircut? This is the guy. So if you want to go ahead and check it out, you can check it out. But yeah, how do you turn something like that? So go from, because you were initially a barber, right, in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
And then you had a vision of doing something bigger. And now you've got essentially a whole grooming suite ahead of you. So what's that journey like?
To be honest, it all started with something that I would love to have in my life, to be recognized globally.
Okay.
Because I've never had a degree background or a big family title background. So I came with my thoughts only. Yeah. Into this world, and I tried to be somebody exist. Yeah. I don't want it to be just ripped off or demolished by the time and sadness and negative energies. Yeah. So I figured that I have to find out something that could be a proper social networking platform. Right. That could really set up from me a different level of mindset. Okay. Being learning and earning at the same time with everything. So I decided barber chair will be the best chair to bring everybody to me, since I wasn't financially able enough to travel the world. Yes. So I thought to find a good place that could bring the world to me. Nice. And barber chair was the best option.
That's awesome. Because now you must have sat down with, especially in Dubai, you must have sat down with a huge amount of like different types of people, including the most successful to your everyday person. And you basically are doing the same thing to, no matter who they are, bringing them up, bringing their confidence up. But that is actually a really powerful way of doing it, right? You're bringing in everyone to your chair instead.
Exactly.
So let's go to the start of your journey. All right. So what made Mo become Barber Mo? Like, what was your start? How did you get into cutting hair, doing this in the beginning? And where was that start? Was it in Syria? Was it in Dubai? Where did that start off?
I actually started too early age. I was always seeing myself. I'm an artist.
Yeah.
To whatever I involve, I managed to work it with its absolute details.
Yeah.
And one day it took me to work with a family members because I was too little. I started at 9 years old.
Really?
Yes, yeah. It was too early because I have to lift up my family. So it took me to work in a lot of different jobs on daily basis, like 2 to 3 times per day.
Wow.
One of it was the barber shop.
Yeah. Nice.
So I work it, and within 3 months, like every other job, I managed to bring a lot of attention.
Yes.
Until even the master, the people that I used to work with, sometimes they were like a little bit, feeling uncomfortable when the clients complimented me and I was too new, too young. So even though to reach that chair, they used to put for me a step.
Yeah.
And I was complimented. So there where I found myself like I'm very good at it.
Nice.
But it wasn't paying well. So I have to go with my full responsibility and lift up the rest of the people. So I started to work somewhere else. But then I just felt myself like I only feel comfortable. I only feel a big dude. I only feel like I'm undefeated person, right? Right behind the barber chair, when I stand there, when I started to groom the people.
Nice.
And turn the chair and then see the people looking at me and they're like, what you have done.
Yeah.
So there where I started to have my confidence like really growing and my self-esteem started to be boosted up to the maximum level.
Nice.
But because it wasn't paying well, so I decided to quit.
Yeah.
Then one thing happened. My mom, I went home very upset because they were very tight on me, not paying me well.
Yeah.
I said, no longer. Then my mom, she just looked at me. She said, listen up. I know you're responsible. I know you're taking a lot of things in your life. But one thing I want you to put in your head.
Yeah.
I don't know why every time I walk in front of the barber shop that you're working at, I just see behind the barber chair, big guy one day.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you this. Do whatever you wanted to do in your life, but try not to quit this. I don't know why you look awesome.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And then from there, like her thoughts has, when somebody that you love most come to you on your weak moment and then just lift you up with the smallest thoughts.
Yeah.
That's why I decided on the barber chair as well to go and be the person who really give the word only.
Right.
Because a lot of people, like my status, I never needed money. With my mindset that I have, that I born with, I never needed money. I need a word.
Nice.
That word come from my mom has changed from me a lot of things.
Yeah.
Has developed from my skills a different level of a masterpiece.
Right.
And there where I try to take it further, I trust it was the fuel, and still that every time I do something, I just remember that I'm the best behind the barber chair.
Yeah.
And my client, like when I try to complement my mom's thoughts with the reality, I believed on it most because that was the most thing that I was receiving on each and every client I used to serve.
Nice.
When I turned the chair or showed them the mirror, they were like, wow.
Yeah.
So that makes me understood Barber Mo, he should go to wherever he wanted to be with his Caesar.
Amazing.
He should cut every single opportunity to a half and then hold it tight. Yeah,
How were you learning when you were doing this? So obviously you're young when you started. Was it like shadowing somebody else, like family members you were saying that you were doing it with? Was it just mentoring from them, or was it just watching and observing how they were doing things? Like the quality, how did you get that increase?
Being fast learner, that's something that I born with.
Nice.
And I sharpen it a lot because I needed to make me reach my dream fast.
Yeah.
So I started to put myself into a lot of different trades and works because I really wanted to pick something that I will really feel myself I'm 100% into it.
Yeah.
So that I could, just focus on that.
Nice.
When I start on barbering, I just felt the art.
Yeah.
And I felt like when I looked around me, I felt like, man, it's something very attached to the humans. Even for me, like when I'm dressing or whatever, if my hair it's not good, I feel everybody look into my hair.
Yeah.
When my hair, it's like when there is some damaged line or something not going well, party, work, street, interview, wherever I go, I feel everybody looking into this problem.
Yeah.
So this is make me felt like why none of the people that I work with, they care about.
Right, nice.
So that brought my attention. What if I do this to people and I make them feel the way I feel? Would the world recognize it?
Nice.
When I saw the compliment, that took me to go more and dive deep. So I was good on observing. I see the people, but then I have to practice.
Amazing.
So I never had a chance to take a break or something. I used to work like 12, 13, 14 hours as long as I'm standing and there is people coming. So I used to, and I was blessed, to be honest, ever since I started working. I only worked with busy places.
Nice. Okay.
So that helps me a lot to level up my skills, my passion, and my hunger that I really want to have any kind of skills or job or something that I love to lift me up, to showcase like, okay, Mo, he's about to reach his dream with. It was barbering. So I think that's why all my senses, all my energy, all my focus was on how to make people feel good. And that is going to make me feel good one day.
Nice. So you had two main things here, really. It was a passion, naturally, right, to cut hair, like to really make people feel good, spin that chair on, get that reaction. And also you identified a problem. The problem is that no one else around you had that same passionate feeling about why does no one care about the effect it's having on them, right? So you've got these two things. How do you then take it to somewhere like Dubai? Because Dubai is upcoming at the time. I think, when did you move to Dubai?
I moved to Dubai around like 2003.
Okay.
I come a few times, then I failed, then I went back feeling like bad, I can't do it. Then I turned back here. So yeah, it was a few times, but I landed 2003.
Right. So what was it in that journey of going back and forth that was causing you to, so for example, to keep going back? So a lot of people might try it, you know, go there, be like, oh, I'm going to go to Dubai, fail, come back. And then they're like, I give up. What made you keep going back? And then where did you position yourself? Was it like you were working somewhere in Dubai before you set up skills? Like what made you keep coming back?
It's the reason why, because I was having that feeling like it's the right place.
Okay.
But being child and being a person also have a lot of responsibility. So it was always taking me feeling like, what if there is another place much better?
Yeah.
You know, so I used to go back and then compare. And every time I go back and check what's going on in the other environment, I felt like, no, there is something, man, like a magnet bringing me back always to Dubai. And every time I come back here, I find growth. So I was like, if you wanted to place your massive dream, or if you wanted to place a big foundation as you're dreaming, like, you really have to have a place like Dubai.
Yeah.
And one thing was inspiring me a lot when I landed here for the last time before I really started to revolutionize my skills and decided that this is the country that I'm going to be in here.
Right.
I understood that you really need a proper foundation.
Yes.
Busy foundation, especially coming from Middle East. Someone like me, it's very hard to travel the world and do a lot of stuff. So I have to be in a place where I attract the whole world to it.
Yes.
So that was very blessing moment when I was renting an apartment and it was viewing straight to the airport.
Nice.
And you know, every time I just get outside to have my morning coffee, it used to bring my attention the airplanes departing and landing, and I was like, it's too busy. So I started to count it like for 3 months in a row, nonstop. 3 months as long as I'm sitting on the balcony, and it was always 1 minute and 59 seconds when a plane will land and one will depart.
Right.
So I was like, listen, this is the foundation.
Nice.
So there where I felt like, okay, so if you wanted to go international, if you wanted to reach the world from your barber chair, you have to place your chair in the central of the world where it's bringing entire attention and people to come in here.
Yeah, and Dubai is a perfect place, right? You have literally every nationality coming in every day. Yes. So incredible. So you positioned yourself in the right place. So now you've got all three things. You've got your passion, you've identified a problem, and you've put yourself in the right place. Yeah. Right? Now, obviously, everyone will be like, oh, no, that's easy. You can just carry on and crush it, right? Now, the hard part here is, did you have things that were against you? All right. So what I mean by against you, I mean, was there things which were unfavorable to you by being in Dubai, getting started off? Example, in Dubai, like if you come in with a British passport, it's very much like a case of a lot of doors are open by default. Was it different for you coming from somewhere like Syria? Was it a tougher journey, would you say? And how did you overcome that?
honestly speaking, when you carry big dream, the bigger that you dream, the tougher that it will be. Like the journey will be very difficult. And most especially that you have to tell to the world like who you are in advance, being who you really are. You know what I mean? So I was always blessed with big mouth.
I like that.
And that really, make my journey very difficult. They always say like, watch your mouth because your mouth can, overload your shoulder. But it was just me. So walking all the time and telling to the world what I wanted to do, coming back from a Syrian nationality and also very poor environment that have me no degrees, no school, nothing. It was most challenging point for me. If you ask me, it was my language.
Right. Okay.
That's why even now, whenever I get a chance, I keep talking in English. I practice that. It's something like I'm really proud of.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, right now you're holding the podcast perfect. Yeah, so
it's something like I'm really proud of because I put into my mind like, listen, the main key, the major key. It's not just the place. It's not the government. It's because you can blame everything if you wish. But then I told myself, it's all about my big mouth.
Yeah,
it has to open for me doors.
Yeah,
and I need to connect to the world.
Yeah,
so I must have some good English.
Yeah,
I actually faced my most difficult challenge, which is talking to a British nationality, especially.
Really? Okay.
Yes. So I started to look for what is the weakness on the market. I saw a lot of people. It was Dubai on its very beginning, you can tell.
Yeah.
So when the people started to land from different nationalities, so mainly because it's Arab world, people relying on their Arabic most.
Okay.
So I took the chance to be right opposite how my previous colleagues used to act like.
Right.
So I used to face the difficulties, sit with the customer, write down every single word he said to me as much as I can.
Nice.
Like memorize it all. When I finish the haircut, I will write it down all. I will go home, then I will start to ask people who speak double language, what's this mean? What's this means? Then I will go to face my customer. I remember very well that one incident that has really shaped me up very well.
Yeah.
One client, a British client.
Right.
His accent was very tough.
Yeah.
And he was insisting, I want somebody to speak good English.
Right.
Because they were always suffering like how to communicate and how to connect to their barber to deliver for him what they want best. Because it's a lot of details to explain
100%,
to the barber. Like I want line, sharp line, especially the word of fade.
Yes.
Give me fade cuts. Cuts. Man, I told my manager, man, I need to take this guy. He told me he's very, very tough for you to understand. You're too new with us, only 3 months. I said, let me handle it. I know, because I trust my skills.
Yeah.
Well, long story short, I start working, and then when I finished, he was very mad at me. He take off that cutting cape, he roll it, and then he drop it straight on me.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was really painful. Then I just looked at him. I was like, I don't know what to say, but I know my haircut is very good. Then after he had a little conversation with my manager, he told him, this guy, he doesn't speak English. His job is very good, but he doesn't speak English.
Right.
So my manager come to me and he said, listen, you always wanted to face those clients, then probably you will fail.
Yeah.
So I said, I need 3 months. Give me 3 months.
Okay.
I took a chance for 3 months to face my fear 100%.
Yeah.
I studied as much as I could. Then when this client booked his appointment one more time, I said to my manager, book him. He said, no, I said, book him.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
So once he booked him on my barber chair, I talked to him about the haircut especially a lot in English. Then when he finished, he looked at me, he said, you know what? I knew when I look at your eye that time that you're not going to be less than what you're talking to me today.
I love
less
that.
than this level. Yeah. So that was the biggest struggle, if you ask me. Rest of the things, obviously, financially and all that. That was like a whole of story that we can really go through to its details. But mainly for me, it was my language.
Right. You know what? I love the mindset, right? And I always try and bring this kind of these key points in because there can be so many factors to blame. Like it could be it could be a passport, it could be anything really, right? Yes. Everyone can find a reason to make you not do it. And what you've done instead is identify the biggest problem. So you've already positioned yourself in the right way. But then you're like, okay, well, now English is a big part of this to get communicating with all of these people that are here. And then instead of shying away from it, which a lot of people could easily do, right? You could work and you could easily cut the other people's hair and speak Arabic because you're fluent in Arabic. you just put yourself in the deep end and you said 3 months, I'm going to learn
And
it.
by the way, like when I speak in Arabic, I was blessed always. I have very good skills of talk.
Yeah.
So I speak very well. So if I will speak to somebody in Arabic, I'm going to blow his mind away before I start my work.
Nice. Yeah.
So when it comes to English, my challenge was big because I don't want the people when they talk to me in Arabic, they find me good. And when they talk to me in English, they will find me like stuttering or breaking. So I want the level of this. I don't care whoever will judge me.
Yeah.
I was just standing in front of the mirror. Is that me when I'm talking to somebody in English? No, I don't like. Tomorrow I will come back. I will practice one more time. I will make it better until I started to feel that the people, when they talk to me, they were like, where are you coming from?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you from UK? Because most of the clients that I surround myself with are British because I want the toughest English to learn.
Yeah.
So at some points, I used to copy their accent a little bit.
Yeah.
So when I have some British people, I will go like a little bit more tough on myself.
Yeah.
And then they will be like, which part from UK you came from?
Yeah. To be honest, when I first came to you, and it was, by the way, this was the first week I'm ever in Dubai, Mo met me. So literally I came to Mo, Jay introduced, he said like, you should try his haircut out. So I came to Skills, and it was, I remember the first thing you said to me, and I'll never forget it, is one, by the way, I actually had no problem ever with language between us, right? It was, you understood everything I said. But I remember the key thing you said to me is, I want to know, or I want you to understand how to describe what you want, as in how to explain your haircut. And then from that, it was like a whole different conversation that I've ever had in a barber chair, right? Where I was like, you know what? I want to have this effect and this bit look like this. And you were like, okay, this is what you would ask for. This is what and it's such you completely changed out for me. I was like, this is different. This is a totally different experience, right? And I think that just in itself is so powerful that you've come from a place of not being able to speak much English or very well, and you've gone to a point where you've got
I was literally knowing hi and bye.
And you've got me understanding things that I didn't even know existed in the barbershop world. Right? So it's crazy. So I think you've absolutely done amazing there, right?
Thank you.
So now you're in Dubai, you've grown your skill set. So now you've got essentially the tools that you need to kind of grow. Now, when was it that you decided, and just for some context here, we'll talk about the entire journey, but you've gone from, working under somebody else's barbershop in Dubai, building up your skill set so that way everyone can know where we're going to literally cutting the hairs of incredibly famous people like Diego Maradona, Will Smith. And honestly, there's a wall when you walk through Skills. Now, every time I literally enter and leave Skills, I'm always looking at it, and it's just covered with incredible people, like powerful, really, honestly, strong figures. How do you go from, just having like a position in a barbershop to, facing all the difficulties to start your own, barbershop, but then not only just doing that, revolutionizing the space to the point where Dubai itself recognized you for a municipality award. That is incredible. Like, let's talk about how you started that journey.
Well, as I said, I always wanted the people to have an experience. I want value, the piece of hair, because this is where everything began. If you want to date a girl, obviously you have to look like a presentable. If you want to go for an interview, you have to look like a smart and neat. If you are going to face any struggle in your life, you have to feel good. And to feel good, you have to look good. Yeah. So once you feel that this is all about how much humans is going to be confident and how much they're going to develop things in their life, you understand mostly that you are helping the world with the maximum level that you can from your own barber chair. Right. Attracting the people who understand its value. Yeah. It's not just haircut for me. And that's why I placed it on 15th floor, because I don't want the people to come to me because it's a barbershop. Yeah. It's a place when you enter into it, you are going to be no longer the same. Yeah. Same mindset, same feeling, same energy. You're going to enter the shop with different energy, and you're going to exit with the level of energy. I will make sure with the entire vibe that I provided, it will not be less. Why? Because ever since I was a child and I was fighting the battles in life to grow and be where I wanted to be, every single thing around me was not supportive. Yeah. And the majority of the things was like about the doubts and the criticism, because like, how are you going to make like this? How are you going to work? So I decided I don't want it to be that guy to others anymore. Instead, I wanted to be the guy who will really help people to have much better energy. When they meet him, they look at some style, and then when they leave, they will look and feel a different style. So from that, I started to develop the style.
Okay.
How it should look like it should be all white.
Yeah.
And the moment I start actually doing the white finishing, I was the only one who did it globally. So there was no recorded barbershop yet that was made with full white color. And from there onward, I knew that I'm going to really develop an inspiration for others. If you wanted to go and involve in our industry, you have to compete with the best.
Yes.
And to compete with the best, you have to copy and you have to go to that level. So making the shop white, it's one thing to make you feel the moment you open the door and you enter inside, makes you feel that you are entering the heaven.
Yeah.
So whatever you're coming from the hectic of the day, the traffic, whatever you're facing through, the moment you open the door, you're going to really have the good and white full energy impact that it's going really to lift you up and start make you feel, leave everything behind you and welcome to the heaven.
It is, honestly. Yes. And I think I've had so many reactions to my Instagram, YouTube, wherever I put up skills on my stories. Everyone's like, what is this place you go to every week? And they're like, I'm like, it's skills, go check it out. And I think even one of my subscribers came to the shop, which is quite amazing. Yeah. And, but yeah, you're right. It's definitely, you walk in and it's completely takes you away. And I even find it's more of a retreat for me every week. To kind of get away from a busy life and just kind of de-stress. Like it's a place where I can go, escape, have a nice like 2 hours of just getting fixed up and leave just feeling like a whole new man. So you've gone ahead with the figuring out the design, what you want. How do you then get that into reality? What was it like? Because Dubai is not a cheap place. Like, let's be real. It's definitely not, I wouldn't say, coming from London and having a spectrum where it's kind of like London can be considered somewhat expensive. Dubai is, I think, a level up from London. So getting your first property, or, you know, like you said, it's the 15th floor, and it has an incredible view of the Burj as well. So you can see the entire tower and everything. What was it like taking that risk? Because that's a big risk to take on your shoulders. How did that feel? And then obviously you got to factor in a team. You need to bring people in. You have somebody similar to me. So I have Jay, you have Dale. When you're bringing all of these things in, what was it like taking on that risk and responsibility?
It was, you know, when somebody like with a certain mindset and big dream, you really need to know that the undefeated person is the person that who have nothing to lose.
Nice.
So when you have nothing to lose, you become a guy that whatever he face, he will just make.
Nice.
It's impossible to have a certain things to stop you or break your legs because you just feel like I'm facing this regardless how hard and risky it is. It's not going to be as risky as I'm staying on my same place.
I 100% agree with that.
You know what I mean? So that thought was inside of me telling me like, go and push forward. Now I started to develop the environment that will really help me to accomplish that. It all started with one wish I made.
Right.
I wanted to meet big dude one day, and that big dude will really change my life. And I level up my entire energy to a certain situation that my energy, my skills, everything will bring me this guy one day. And once I met him, I will be no longer the same Mo that's standing behind the chair.
Nice.
I will be the right guy for the right event.
Right.
And from there, I will force the whole world to recognize me.
Awesome. And who was that guy?
That was Will Smith.
Nice. Yes. And how do you go for, how did that happen?
It was just like I was on very downtime in my life, feeling like the war in Syria was begin, and I have a bunch of family behind me. I need to get him out of the war. I need some inspiration. I'm not that guy who will knock doors and ask money. And in Dubai, I couldn't work 2 to 3 different jobs. It was just one job.
Right.
So I was looking for any opportunity to prove that. And I love my career. I don't want it to quit. Which doesn't pay well, especially on those days. But I don't want it to quit. So I don't know, for some reason, I was sitting on the sofa watching the movie called The Pursuit of Happiness for Will Smith.
Yeah.
I really like the combination, how the event happening, what's the name of the movie, what's its story, and how it had impacts to my life, and how everything worked out.
Yeah.
If ever I think about it, man, I just go break down, and sometimes I like really very emotional. I just feel like it's happening every minute within me.
Yeah.
So I just look at this guy, and in my imagination, I was just tailor-made for him, and the proper haircut, the proper like style that is going to suit him. And I'm like, he should not look like this. I was busy.
Yeah.
Then on that moment, I get a phone call, and next day was my day off. That was Sunday night. I get a phone call, and they were like, tomorrow you have a VVIP guy. And I'm like, who's that VVIP guy? Tomorrow it's my day off. If he's VVIP, then make him pay me.
Yeah.
Then in a minute, I put down the phone, man, and I was like, what if that is Will Smith? So I will be involved one more time. So I started to tailor-made the haircut.
Yeah.
They called me back. They told me it's confirmed. Next day, I wake up, man, and I'm like, I'm going to meet this guy. All I believe is I'm going to meet Will Smith.
So when they called you, that's when they said it was Will Smith?
No, nobody informed me. They told me, like, the appointment has confirmed. The guy
no way. But you didn't know it was Will Smith?
I never know.
Wow.
And I was challenged. Like, I have housemate that we're living together that time.
Yeah.
And I was telling him, like, I'm going to cut this guy's hair. He's going to be on my chair. I'm going to change my life. When they called me and they said to me that, listen, there is a VVIP client, I told him, see, he's the guy.
Yeah.
And then in that moment, he was like, man, you really make me feel tired to how much you talk.
Yeah.
And how much
Yeah.
I'm really sick of listening to you all. I know that you have achieved a lot of things in your life. I know that you're powerful, but like, come on, I mean, be sensible.
Yeah.
I said, no problem. Tomorrow I'm sending you a picture. And that's what's happening. So really, I went there, and even though when the bodyguard was interviewing me on the lobby of Burj Khalifa, he was telling me like your name and your date of birth, and he was having like list of questions. At some points, I'm very low temper person. I was like, man, stop asking me. I'm not going to date your boss. I'm here just to cut his hair.
Yeah.
That's my day off.
Yeah.
And then that guy is like a 40 plus years old, wise man. He looked at me, he said like, dude, you are going to meet Will Smith, so don't think you're going to enter that easily.
Yeah.
In my ears, it was like very familiar, but I didn't stop. I'm like, okay, then let's just end it up.
Yeah.
I went there when I was preparing the tools. I just feel myself like everything calm, everything is good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. On that day, I was feeling very good.
Yeah.
The guy passed by and he was like, hi, hi. I'm like, I really know this guy at some point.
Yeah, that's incredible.
It was insane, like literally insane.
Yeah.
And once I start cutting his hair, I still remember very well. I was like, I know this hair, man. I tailor-made its haircut. I work it with my absolute best. It's time for me to feel like, is this true? So I wanted to know. I'm a very busy guy ever since in my life. I never managed to sit down and watch TVs. And I know that his name is Will Smith. I know Bad Boys movie. That's all I know in my life, to be honest. Even The Pursuit of Happiness, I started to know its name later because it's like a big moment in my life.
Yeah.
So I want any conversation, any topic. I look at him, man. I saw the earring he's wearing. I said, here. I was like, definitely that's Will Smith. Let me tell him something. So I just told him, I like the Bad Boys movie, bro.
Nice.
After that word, my entire life changed, man.
Wow, that's crazy, man. It's like a whole journey. You got me glued to it right now. That's absolutely. What did he say back?
Man, he looked at me. He was like, dude, that makes me feel like too old now. It's been like almost 20 years now.
Yeah.
I was like, that's my guy. I don't care how long. I care like he's Will Smith.
Yeah, that is amazing. You were just confirming it. Yeah.
Seriously, it was.
That is incredible.
It was a moment in my life. Like really, it opened the doors, and I knew once I receive it this way, I just felt myself like it's time.
Yeah.
It's like really, it's time to take my mind out and then open it to a parts. And then tell to my mind literally what to work, not my mind to tell me.
Yeah. And this is when Skills was born.
Yeah, this is when I start attract investors, and then I started to be all over the news because what happened is like I spent with him like a month.
Yeah.
Then after that he flew back to France to continue his journey because he was trying to travel the world.
Yeah.
And then they brought for him a couple of barbers. Nobody know how to cut his hair, so he flew back to Dubai.
Nice.
To see me, yes. And then it was my last time to see him. And then once I went to the hotel, really he welcomed me and he lifted me up to the sky. He was like, bro, man, I really need your service one more time. I need the skills. And that was one of the inspiration for me to name my shop too as a skills. Because,
wow, okay.
That's how, he said to me 2 words, and there it's really comes all over my life story. He said, I need Barber Mo. I need your skills.
Nice.
There were everything in my mind, like that's the name for my shop, because everything I'm doing in my life is for a reason.
Yeah.
And that was it. So once I served him and he said like, listen, you really need to know that the level of skills you have, it's different. And on that day I brought with me my previous boss. I wanted to introduce him to him. So basically he goes this way. He told him, bro, you really have to take your guy with bring like a golden water, dip his hands inside, seriously. That's what he said to him. Dip his 2 hands inside and frame it in your wall. He's your money maker.
No way.
Yes, man. That's so true. And to come as a compliment from a big dude like Will Smith, for me, I understood. If you ask me what it means to me other than being too happy, it means to me one thing only, that if a person like him who traveled the world, who get a chance to call any barber, to change his entire life in a minute. And he complimented me this way, and he's an artist. So that it means I'm doing something needs to be recognized one day, and I'm on the right track.
Nice.
So when we went outside, it was sad that my ex-boss said to me like, listen, all this scenario makes me too happy for you as person, but I'm not happy because it was all about you.
Oh, no way. Yeah.
And then there where I understood that my future, it's on my own hand.
Nice.
I'm the only one responsible. In my head, I said, to bring skills.
Yeah. I love it, man. So that was literally, and it naturally flowed, right? So you naturally led to this moment. Then you've launched skills.
Yes.
Right?
Then I started to attract, because of that, the whole world started to interview. Like it was first time for Will Smith to be in the Middle East, and it was the only me that I could have conversation with him.
Right.
No media, nobody was allowed to reach out to him.
Okay.
It was private visit.
Yeah.
I trust he was invited from the royal family.
Yeah.
So it was private visit, and I was the only one. And that brought the entire media to come, and they named me that time the luckiest barber in the Middle East.
Oh, nice.
Yes, there where the people start come to me, I take the chance because I understood it's the opportunity to start invest on myself.
Definitely, yeah.
Yes, I started to buy like special tools. I started to dress different type of dress. I was fighting with my previous company because I never liked my uniform. So I was like, guys, I'm the celebrity barber, so I should be the right person to the right event. You cannot just have me this way. And I have a lot of argue. There where I attract the people to look like shining star, different than others. So, it's always about that little extra things that you put in your life.
Nice. Okay.
So you can be just an ordinary. You can take it as like, wow, I'm very happy. I already make my mind and I met Will Smith.
Yeah.
And you can put that little extra things, which is a lot of people, they don't want it to do.
Yeah.
By the way, and like whatever you do on your daily basis, it's for your living. And whatever extra you do, it's for the future.
Yeah.
It's investment. So that little extra things accumulates by the time and makes the investors, the people who understand the opportunity very well, and person who know how to develop and elevate different things, they have the money, but they have no idea. So they need somebody who's hungry like me to put that money with them and then take it back with whatever extra percentage extra. And I told myself, it's the chance. So I work it this way. I attract investors. I picked one. It was also a tough journey, but I picked one. Then we have conversation. Okay, this is 5 years investment. And then after that, you're going to take this much. I actually make it with 1 year and 7 months. Then I said, have a good day.
Nice. That's how you got to do it. That's amazing. So you caught the investor, took the opportunity, and then that's literally skills like born at that point. Now, the biggest thing that I would have to say here, I really want to know myself is you've got this entire huge passion. You've got this quality that you like hold yourself to. How do you then, as you like expand and build a team, keep that quality? Because that's a lot of problems that no matter what business people face or in any entrepreneur, they're going to face the same problem where they have such a high standard And then as they expand now, they expect their team to have the same standard. So what did you do to make sure that you are hiring the right people and the things that were in the right place? Because that's essentially, at some point then, they're representing skills now, which is a representation of your service.
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, as we start the conversation talking about my English, I'm the guy who blame himself.
Yeah. Okay.
So I take the full responsibility every time. Listen, it's my dream. It's me knowing what I wanted. It's me, the guy who really feel himself that the moment that he started this, he take the chance and he take the responsibility to take it to wherever he wants.
Right.
So when the people come in to work for you, they're working with you for your dream.
Right.
Now you will select few people who believe on your idea, but the majority they doesn't.
Yes.
So for that reason, I understood this because I was ever since young, I was doubted. I was always criticized. So I understood this is the world.
Yep.
This is where I'm living at.
Mm-hmm.
So to have this big dream, it's similar when you reach moment and you have this much honey and then you have a bear and bees and stuff around you. Everything, it's going to be attacking that little honey that you have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So once you have something like really shining, like a diamond or whatever, you will attract thieves.
Yeah.
So sometimes, which is in my belief, in my philosophy, that the ship will only sink if somebody from inside drill it, you know what I mean, or cause it any damage.
Right.
For that reason, I take the entire responsibility on me to be the guy on the work floor.
Okay.
So I arrive early before anyone, and I leave last. And regardless what is the barber's titles, what is the person's position, his degree or background behind, this is something that I respect.
Yeah.
But I don't put it in a place that it's going to help my company to grow. What will help my company to grow? It's me.
Mm-hmm.
It's my philosophy.
Yeah.
It's something that I've already wrote it on a book called The Skills Culture.
Nice.
Every time I interview people, every time I hire people, I give them this skills culture.
Mm-hmm.
They have to work on it, study it, see if they can work. If they feel themselves they can handle the pressure, then they will be welcome. After that, they will go to certain training, which is I have 4 people on a board line.
Yeah.
Team members. Their job is to train every person for minimum of 3 months.
Right.
Not just to have like a good haircut or whatever, that's something that I do, but to see how he act, how he move, how he talk to the customer, how he touch, how he dress. Their job is to make sure that he is well fit to the philosophy of skills.
Nice.
So what I can say also to make the entire, so because it's a lot of details, but to make it like good on people who really wanted to understand the message is like you really have to have a standard, a criteria, and then instead of investing on people, invest on that.
Nice.
The more you invest on your philosophy, the more you invest in your culture, the more you invest on 2 to 3 people who believe on your story, because you cannot be alone.
Yeah.
You know, there is some famous saying says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with the team.
100%.
So you have to select. What I did, you know, I always wanted to lift my family. So I brought 2 of my family members on a board line.
That's beautiful,
And yes, and then I have my guy, a person that he used to be my colleague back in the day. I saw on him the passion. He saw on me the guy who can deliver everything. We believe on each other more than brothers. It's something beyond words to cover.
Yeah.
And then he helps me always because he's good on writing. I don't write English at all.
Yeah.
It's, as we spoke, like I only speak English.
Yeah.
So he's my right hand. He do for me everything. I just tell him, and he believe, no doubts at all to what I said. Then we deliver that to the people, and then from that system, investing on my system, putting a lot of effort on my system, being the guy in top of this system will force the consistency to go still, because it's not impossible to climb the mountain, but it's almost impossible for everyone to stay still when they reach the top.
Nice.
As we said, you will attract a lot of enemies, and at most of the times they will be within your workplace.
Yeah.
So there where you really have to do one thing. You don't want your business to break you or make you feel terrified or make you hate your employees, because people are doing their things. By the way, like when the people, they do that, it's not intentional. They don't want to damage you.
Yeah.
They don't understand. They don't have a view to what you have inside of your mind, where you're going. Regardless, you will tell them every day, every minute, every hour, like, listen, we're going to do this. We will achieve this. But still, their mind, like, cannot observe that, because people, they don't believe as much in themselves.
Yeah.
So avoiding having this stress with you wherever you go. Put it all on yourself by creating the most smart system, which is, I call it skills culture, and let the people to work within it, with inside of it. So when the people, they're circulating with inside of the culture, regardless how much they will ruin the consistency, it will be with the sizes and within a board line that I still have a view. So that's how I managed to have the consistency still, by me having the entire skills culture that was made for over than 100 years. Right? To keep covering skills like a proper shield, to lift it up and keep it growing, even though to the afterlife.
That is amazing. And I think what I love about that is, even with that in place now, you're literally acting, like you said, like you're leading by example. You're the one, like you said, you turn up, you're there, you're setting the right example for your team. And I think a moment that really kind of like hit it in my head when you were telling me this, when I got a haircut before, was you set a training on a Saturday and you said, okay, guys, that to the entire team, it's completely your call if you want to turn up to the training, but we have a training on this day and we're going to dive into a couple of things. And the entire team turned up, you said, which was like, that just shows in itself that this culture that you've built, the power of it, as opposed to, a boss culture where it's like, you have to turn up on Saturday because we have a training. It's a totally different approach. And it's the difference between a failed business versus a successful one. So I think that's really, really powerful. Now, you've also taken that shield and applied it to opening up a second shop, right? So now you've gone ahead and you've literally carried that over. And I can say from firsthand, I always go here. It's, I would say, what would you classify the second skill salon as? A place where you can kind of get, I guess, a lot more of a treatment. I guess it's facials, it's more like pedicures, manicures, a lot of things like that. Now, in a space like Dubai, where let's say, okay, a lot of guys might feel like, I can't get this done or I can't get that done. Or how did you tackle that? How did you disrupt a field like this to make it so that now, because I'll be honest, now everyone like that I see in there is people that really are doing amazing. They're taking care of themselves. And then it puts you in the same sense of where, like, now if somebody says, oh, you get your eyebrows and you do this, I'm like, yes, I do. Like, I completely do it. And I do a proper sitting where I go there and I spend 3 hours, I would get everything done. So how did you disrupt to that level? And, like you said, you've protected it while you're doing it with the skills culture.
It's just by the knowledge.
Yeah.
It's something, as I said, I refuse to be the guy who blame everybody.
Yeah.
I like to be the leader instead of being the boss. And I take the entire opportunity for me learning.
Yeah.
Because once you lead by example, you definitely succeeded.
Yes.
So I've invested a lot on my own education.
Yeah.
And there where I spend my entire money, to be honest.
Nice.
I educate myself about every single thing that it's related to hair or skin or nail, because there where I was going, and I really wanted to provide an education for a man, because in man grooming industry, mainly back in the day, like when we used to serve people, they were like, what do you mean? Are you kidding? I will do my facial and not a female?
Yeah.
So it was very hard for me, especially here in our region, like how to convince the people and educate them. Like, man, it doesn't mean that you have something problem in your in your sexuality if you have your facial done.
Yeah,
your skin is the reflect of your inner health.
Yeah.
So at some point or another, when you know how sales works, they died by the time we go older.
Yeah.
So if you do a facial and you take care of them, because they don't have anymore any kind of resources that it's feeding them and cleansing them and making them look more glowing.
Yeah.
And making them look more neat, which is, again, it's the reflect where people seeing you. It's the first impression about you, being hygienic, being clean, being neat. It's something not bad. I believe it wasn't made for male or female.
Yeah.
It was made for the person who really wanted to feel good about himself.
Yeah.
And once he met a group of people, he would like to look his absolute best.
Yeah.
So also once he look at himself in the mirror, he would love to level up his self-confidence and love himself much more.
Yeah.
So there where you can face difficulties. So knowing all that, it took me a lot of investment. It took me a lot of study about the hair itself, how to prevent any hair fall and all that matters, as well as for the skin, as well as for the nail.
Nice.
So once I did this education in total, so I started to have people with the skills culture to acknowledge themselves about that, go through courses as well to get better. And for me, on top of that, I go with weekly basis. As I said, I call people, hey, listen up. Today we have a training for X amount of hours. Whoever wanted to show up, it's the hungry people. So I'm going to share with you a lot of knowledge. You better feed yourself with it so you can communicate with your customer and have good conversation with them.
Nice.
A helpful conversation. So I was beat a little bit at the beginning from the market, which is, I know, every time you launch something new, it's always for the people like, what you're trying to do, don't convince me this is wrong. So they don't accept it easily.
Yeah.
It took me 3 years exactly fighting.
Right.
Until I proved for the people that if you really get this facial done in this way, with this knowledge, with this product, with these ingredients, you are going to feel this way, look this way, and act like this. And you will be complimented. The moment you exit, this is the very famous word about skills.
Yeah.
The moment you exit the door, it's impossible for you not being complimented. It's impossible for people to see you and just think of you're normal. They will always say like, man, you look awesome. Or you look different, or what you have done to yourself. That is the word that I promise every client before I open Skills, and since I open it, and I decided forever it will be always the word that you're going to receive whenever you exit the shop. Even though last week you get a haircut.
Yeah.
But this week, it's another week, it's another people, it's another level of skills, and you should always look good and stunning. So basically, massive investment, being self-responsible, and taking the blame all the time, and put the little extra work.
I love that, man. And I can personally validate that and say, every single week I've had some form of compliment. I'm like, so you look fresh. What are you doing with your skin? People on YouTube are always dropping this comment. That's why I wanted to bring you on and say, this is the guy who does the magic, right? Like, honestly, that's it. Honestly, it's crazy. Like, but this entire journey has had its it's had its wins, it's had its hard times.
Yeah.
Like I always talk about the concept of grounding. So you need factors in your life that help you ground. And that means it could be something like, for me, it could be the gym, just to escape and put all of my stress there and come back. For you, in your entire journey, there's been so many ups and downs in different areas where you're challenging different things. What's been your grounding factors?
Honestly speaking, it's the sport and my holy book.
Nice. Okay.
So in my life journey, I always say all my education, all my knowledge, every single thing I've learned, even though about economic or about success, how to achieve your goals, how to be responsible, all of it I've gained it as learning from my holy book.
Okay.
I'm not too pro on being religious.
I completely,
it was the only available book for me that I could read.
Of course, yeah.
And I used to say, like, if this is written or sent from God, then definitely He knows humans better than anyone else.
Yeah.
To describe for me how my body will function, how the people around me they act, and how I have to protect myself, and how, like, when you hear the word of heaven, you always believe, like, I don't know, something like a greenish and stuff like that. In my understanding, especially when I was young. So it always means to me the winning.
Yes.
Is the better you, the better life, the better. So from there, all the time where I inspire myself, where I empower myself, where I lift up myself all the time, and listening and understanding that I have been protected from who created me. And he told me, just do one thing, ask me.
Yeah. Nice.
This one, and then when I jump to the gym at most of the time, I believe to enjoy your success, to be the leader in front of others, you have to look good. To feel good, you have to look good too. So if you really wanted to succeed everything, and you are not willing to succeed the better you, the better looking you, the better feeling you, then you cannot reflect for the things around you. So gym or sport in general doesn't mean gym especially. Sometimes, like even during COVID, I have some pictures I've achieved phenomenal finishing on my body. Like no gym, no trainer could help me. I never had a trainer in my life, but I never quit working out because I realized every time I go through a tough time, I just have to go to the gym there. There where I disconnect. The moment I disconnect my mind after that 1 hour on the gym or like 1 hour and a half, my mind will start to create for me ideas, give me some answers, give me some thoughts. It's just that 1 hour I'm totally with Barber Mo. Like Barber Mo with me together in the gym, beating each other who's going to win. So when you learn how to win against the lazy you physically, you learn how to win against the lazy you mentally.
I love that, man. And it's actually a very common thing. Like a lot of entrepreneurs I speak to, it could be any field. they usually are resorting to two things. It's faith, and you know, it could be that in any capacity, and also their fitness.
Yes.
And then they tend to say the exact same thing. It's a time where you can be by yourself in a world where you're so busy, full of challenges, full of random things all day long, every day. You've got this one isolated hour or 2 hours of just by yourself in this zen. Exactly. And I think that's really important when things are just chaos all the time.
All the time is good, and on the tough time you have to go tougher.
Yes.
Because at some points or another, when it gets hard, you really have to focus on what you have control on.
Yes.
Like when it goes hard, that it means there is something out of your control.
Yeah.
If you focus on that, it will drag you. It will take you away. But if you just try to focus on yourself, just focus on what you have control with. What I can control is my mental health.
Yes.
The more that I have good mental health, the more that I'm in a good position and mental state that could make me decide.
Perfect.
Because in the middle of any problem that's happening to you, there will be always positive things, because you only attract change when you are aiming to change.
Yeah.
So you can either see it a problem and then focus on it. It will really take you like a wave.
Yeah.
Or you will just see it that it's a wave of change, and then you will set yourself like straight and calm, and develop that mindset that will always find you a solution within the entire like a wave or storm for the things that it's, you know, upside and down. So once you focus on your own mental health, on your own body shape. So this 1 hour, say like, okay, let the world to collapse.
Yeah.
What is going to happen to me worse?
Yeah.
You know, what is going to happen to you is focus on the problem.
I like that. It's just composing yourself and learning really where to spend your energy, right?
Yes, exactly.
Honestly, that's huge. Mo, it's been an incredible chat. It's been a huge journey. I think, honestly, just thank you firstly for explaining a lot of it. I think there's so much we could even talk about. I do want to mention one big thing, because I think it honestly is a massive part of your life, but I think it deserves its own segment of time. And you've actually created an entire tribute to this moment when you met Diego Maradona, right? So it was a very big part of your life. I think it's honestly one of your, like you've explained to me, it's one of your biggest achievements. And I think rightly so, it's huge. So if anyone wants to check that out and see that tribute, you've made an entire video on it. Where can they locate that video?
They can go check it out on Barber Mo channel. So I have YouTube channel where I sit there, and then I decide to make it to record my entire life journey, and inspire myself and inspire others, benefit others from my life story, from how I face a struggle, a completely honest story. And people, if they like it, they can even come and meet me behind my barber chair.
Perfect.
So I've placed everything on the YouTube channel, and people can go and check it out.
Awesome, man. And, you know, if you guys want to get, you know, fresh and look, you know, just like this every week, you know where to go. Skills by Mo. The building is...
It's a Clover Bay Tower.
Clover Bay Tower,
Bay
so if you want to go check it out, it's in Dubai, downtown, Clover Bay Tower. Yeah, it's very easy to find. Just type in Skills by Mo. And thank you so much, Mo. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. And if anyone wants to follow, you know where to go. The links are all going to be in the description. So make sure, as always, if you haven't already, like and follow if you're watching this on the replay, of which they obviously are. And make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're watching on YouTube. But thank you so much, Mo.
Thank you, man. It's a pleasure.
And I'll see you next week in the chair. Thank you, everyone. Peace.